In this video, we explore the captivating world of art in all its diverse forms. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating topic of mediums in various art forms. Medium, which comes from the Latin word medium, means by which an artist communicates his idea. These are the materials which are used by an artist to interpret his feelings or thoughts. Many mediums have been used in creating different works of art. The architect uses wood, bamboo, bricks, stone, concrete, and various building materials. The painter used pigments on wood or canvas to recreate reality of nature. A sculptor uses steel, marble, bronze, metal, and wood. A musician uses instruments to produce and communicate a message, and a literary writer uses words. Thus, medium is very essential in art. On the basis of medium, the arts are primarily classified as visual and auditory. Visual arts are those mediums can be seen and which occupy space. These are grouped into two classes. 1. The dimensional or two-dimensional arts, which include painting, drawing, printmaking, and photography, and 2. The three-dimensional arts, which include sculpture, architecture, landscape, community planning, industrial designs, and crafts like ceramics and furniture. Visual arts are those arts that can be perceived with our eyes. The most common visual arts are painting, sculpture, and architecture. Their mediums are discussed as follows. Painting. Painting is the art of creating meaningful effects on a flat surface by the use of pigments. Different mediums are used in painting. Each medium exerts a pronounced effect on the finished product, is capable of varied treatment, and determines its own stroke. These mediums are applied to wet plaster, canvas, wood, or paper. Watercolor. Watercolor is difficult to handle because producing warm and rich tones using this medium proves to be a challenge. On the contrary, watercolor pigments invite brilliance and a variety of hues. Simple and clear spontaneity is its principal essence. While changes may be made once the paint has been applied, such changes normally tend to make the color less luminous. These effects are rendered by watercolor artists through some techniques. An example of such technique is the method of gouache, an opaque watercolor painting, the major effects of which are caused by the white paper itself. The gouache is done by mixing zinc white with the regular watercolor paints to tone them down, giving the appearance of sobriety suitable for dramatic purposes. Fresco. Fresco is a painting method done on a moist plaster surface with colors ground in water or a lime-water mixture. Fresco must be done quickly because it is an exacting medium. The moment the paint is applied to the surface, the color dries into the plaster, and the painting becomes an integral part of the wall. The image becomes permanently fixed and almost impossible to remove. An example of fresco painting is Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam in the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Tempera. Tempera paints are mineral pigments mixed with egg yolk or egg white and or. This egg-based emulsion binds the pigments to the surface. Tempera is characterized by its film-forming properties and rapid drying rate. It requires a more deliberate technique than oil because it does not possess the flexibility of oil. Throughout the Middle Ages and early Renaissance, tempera was one of the favorite mediums of many painters before oil was adopted. Tempera painting is usually done on wooden panel made very smooth with plaster called gesso, chalk and gum. Since this medium dries quickly, corrections are difficult to make. Thus, the artist must be precise and exact in his work. It is a well-designed medium for careful detail. Distinguishing advantage of tempera is its luminous tone, the colors being clear and beautiful. Pastel. Pastel is a stick of dried paste made of pigment ground with chalk compounded with gum water. It is very flexible medium whose colors are luminous. In spite of the richness and varied effects it yields, pastels are less popular than the other mediums because it is difficult to preserve the finished product in its original state. Some artists use a fixing medium or a protecting surface such as glass, but when the chalk rubs off, the image loses some of its brilliance. Encaustic. Encaustic is one of the early mediums used by the Egyptians for painting portraits on mummy cases. This is done by applying wax colors fixed with heat. Painting with wax produces luster and radiance, making subjects appear at their best in portraits. Oil painting is one of the most expensive art activities today because of the prohibitive cost of materials. It is the heaviest of painting medium. In oil painting, pigments are mixed with linseed oil and applied to the canvas. One good quality of oil paint as a medium is its flexibility. The artist may use a brush, palette knife, or even his bare hands when applying paint on his canvas. In some cases, we do not even notice the artist's strokes because the paint is applied very smoothly. One distinctive characteristic of oil paint, compared with other mediums, is that it dries slowly and the painting may be changed and worked over for a long period of time. Because of this, it is possible to apply a great deal of corrections without much difficulty. Painting done in oil appears glossy and lasts long. Acrylic is a medium used popularly by contemporary painters because of the transparency and quick-drying characteristics of watercolor and the flexibility of oil combined. The synthetic paint is mixed with acrylic emulsion as binder for coating the surface of the artwork. Acrylic paints do not tend to break easily, unlike oil paints which turn yellowish or darker over a period of time. Mosaic is the art of putting together small pieces of colored stones or glass called tesserae to create an image. The tesserae are most often cut into squares and glued on a surface with plaster or cement. Mosaic is usually classified as painting, although the medium used is not strictly pigment. Mosaic art is an important feature of Byzantine churches. A prominent religious artwork in Manila done in mosaic is found in the altar of Santa Cruz Church. It shows a wounded white lamb, symbolizing Christ, with a stream that flows down directly to the tabernacle. Stained glass. Stained glass as an artwork is common in Gothic cathedrals and churches. It is made by combining small pieces of colored glass, held together by bands of lead. It is also a kind of patchwork. In large windows, the lead is reinforced by heavy iron bars that form heavy black lines in the picture. The pictures in the stained glass commonly depict the lives of saints and in effect, also serve as a means of religious instruction among Christians. Beautiful stained glass windows showing scenes from the Bible are commonly found in Philippine churches. Tapestry. Tapestry is a fabric produced by hand weaving colored threads upon a warp. The woven designs often end up as pictorials, wall hangings, and furniture covering. During the Middle Ages, they were hung on the walls of palaces and in cathedrals on festive occasions to provide warmth. Drawing. Drawing is usually done on paper using pencil, pen, and ink, or charcoal. It is the most fundamental of all skills necessary in arts. Drawing has always been considered as a very good training for artists because it makes one concentrate on the use of line. Shading can also be used to make drawings more lifelike and realistic. Some of the world's best-known drawings are by the Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci, 1452 to 1519. He drew everything from animals and birds to ideas for flying machines. Pencil, pen and ink, and charcoal. Drawing can be done with different kinds of mediums, the most common of which is pencil. Pencil leads, graphite, are graded in different degrees of hardness or softness. Grades are chosen depending on the kind of drawing the artist will undertake. For line work, hard pencil lead is applied. When working on a granular surface, soft pencils are used because they invite effects of mass and texture of gray. Ink, one of the oldest mediums still in use, offers a great variety of qualities, depending on the tools and techniques used in application. India ink, which comes in liquid form, is the favorite medium of comic strip illustrators and cartoonists. Chinese ink, meanwhile, comes on solid sticks that are dissolved in water before they are used. Charcoal is a carbonaceous material obtained by heating wood or other organic substances in the absence of oxygen. It is used in representing broad masses of light and shadow. Like drawing pencils, soft charcoal produces the darkest value, while the hardest produces the lightest tone. Granite. Granite is a granular igneous rock composed of feldspar and quartz, usually combined with other minerals. This medium is quite difficult to chisel. It is good for large works with only a few designs. The Egyptian sculptures of pharaohs were mostly done in granite. Marble is limestone in a more or less crystalline state sufficiently close in texture, and capable of taking a high polish. It occurs in many varieties. Brecciated marble is composed of angular fragments, while serpentine marble is prized for its variegated patterns and is often used in large flat plains. Marble is easier to carve than granite because it is relatively softer. Sculptors have used marble for detailed carving of figures. Sandstone is relatively soft, making it easy to work on. Basalt is hard and black. Limestone has a fine and even texture. Its color ranges from light cream to buff, and from light gray to a darker, bluish gray. It lends itself very well to carve. Jade. Jade is a fine stone, usually colored green, and used widely in ancient China. It is highly esteemed as an ornamental stone for carving and fashion jewelry. Today, it is made into women's fashion accessories because it carries certain social significance. It is believed to symbolize virtues such as faithfulness, wisdom, and charity. Ivory. Ivory, which comes from the main parts of tusks of elephants, is the hard white substance used to make carvings and billiard balls. In the home of some well-to-do families in the Philippines, faces and hands of saints are made in ivory. The bodies are made of carved and painted wood. Metals. Metals include any of a class of elementary substances such as gold, silver, or copper, all of which are crystalline when solid and many of which are characterized by capacity, ductility, conductivity, and peculiar luster when freshly fractured. Being ductile, metals can be transformed into fine wires or threads. They can be shaped or deformed under great pressure without breaking. Traditionally, the metals used as mediums for sculpture are copper, brass, bronze, gold, silver, and lead. Aluminum is a recent addition to the list. Bronze is one of the oldest alloy of metals composed chiefly of copper and tin with color. It is one of the most popular metals for cast sculpture. Bronze as a material is strong, durable, and resistant to any atmospheric corrosion. It is best suited for sculptures in open or outdoor places like parks and plazas as well as for large-scale modeling. Polishing will give the bronze a shiny finish. Brass, an alloy of copper and zinc, is not popularly used by contemporary artists because of its limitations as a medium. It has many practical uses, as brass does not rust and takes a brilliant polish. Copper, which has a peculiar brilliance, is used as a casting medium. It is basically shaped by hammering and fashioned into relief forms. The rich, reddish color and strength offer many possibilities to the sculptor and the craftsman. One characteristic of this medium is its resistance to atmospheric corrosion. Gold and silver are used as casting materials for small objects like medals, coins, and pieces of jewelry. Because they are quite expensive, they are used either for personal accessories or for religious adornments. And there you have it. From paintings to sculptures to architecture, the world of art is a vast and beautiful landscape where mediums abound. We hope this journey through various art forms has left you inspired and enlightened.